Morning and welcome to the AM Safari on SafariLIVE. You are now with me here at Eco Training Pridelands, and we have a nice, cool, breezy, overcast morning, roughly about 20 degrees. And our plan this morning is firstly to just appreciate the rising sun. Even though it's obscured by clouds, it's still a fantastic bushveld sight. My name is Chris Erasmus, and my camera ops today, my colleague Panda Glitz. And our plan, other than watching the sunrise, is to go and look for some cats. Now, it's dried out a little bit more, so there should be some more roads accessible to us this morning. So therefore, I'm really hoping to find any form of big cat today.
There we go, that's a much better view. Hello, beautiful. You have grown up a lot since I saw you last. You have. But you're still tiny. Oh, do you know her face has not changed? It's amazing. Leopards' faces really don't change. Really, when I was here last, she was just a cub. She was tiny. Had some really wonderful sightings with her. And she's so much bigger now, but still just the same. That face is just the same. The color palette for the morning is very cold. Even Ntsumie looks cold. The marula looks cold. The skies are cold. It's a very grey day. I am hoping that the sun bursts through. It makes all the difference out here. Something quite amazing has just happened. We are at a water body called Treehouse Dam, and we have 3 hippos. Hello, everybody. You were not here yesterday. Just checking out all the dams, huh? Seeing which one is better. I don't know if these are the hippos from Gary Dam, where the dam cam is, and they've just decided, we don't really like this dam anymore. We're going to explore and see what else is out there. How wonderful! We have the great lily trotters. The wonderful, rusty, chestnutty jacanas. I prefer lily trotter. If I was a jacana, I would want to be called a lily trotter. But just before you wonder what that sound is a lot of running water. We are on the sort of northeastern side of Chitwa Dam, and it is still completely overflowing. Look at that.
Oh, this is so cool. So there's definitely a couple more spots on Amakhala at the moment where we're seeing secretary birds more regularly. It's probably because the chicks have all fledged now, so any nesting pairs that there were, if the chicks have fledged, we're going to start seeing the adults venturing out more and more again. And so we're starting to spot them in specific areas. So we've got some decent points where we can start looking for nests again towards the end of the year. This one we've seen here maybe 5 or 6 times already, hey Morgan? Okay, so in the 3 weeks that I've been here is what I was referring to, 5 or 6 times. And Morgan did tell me that this one has been in this area for quite a bit. But we found a few others a few days ago as well that are in an area where we haven't seen them before. So this is pretty exciting.
Firstly, what happens there? The cell walls of the substance in grass that gives them their food is called cellulose, a very complex carbohydrate. So a lot of the cell walls, in the case of zebra, are being broken down for digestion in the mouth already. But with wildebeest, typically a mid-sized ruminant, not a lot of breakdown happens in the chewing process. That takes place a little bit further in the gut. So basically what happened here is they've got 4 stomachs, or basically they've got a foregut, which consists out of the first big stomach, the rumen, and then 2 other compartments where all this takes place. And then most absorption then happens in the foregut, although later on there's more digestion taking place and absorption of other components in the later parts of it. Another question, while we now have zebra together with the wildebeest, why do we very seldom see zebras that are not fat, thin zebras? They always seem to be fat. They always seem to be in good condition, droughts, good summer rainfall throughout the year. Right, let's quickly analyze that. Zebra is unique. We had the story about the wildebeest and their digestive system. Zebra have one single gut, right? So they consume a lot of grass. They have to consume substantially more grass in order to sustain themselves. But therein lies the key to how they adapted. They have incisor teeth. They can pluck big, hard, fibrous grasses which wildebeest can't. Wildebeest have to eat the juicy bits. Zebra can eat fibrous grasses, reed-style grasses, and so forth. And because of the way that they chew, the cell walls, remember the cellulose of the cell wall of the plant, complex carbohydrate, is broken down sufficiently by the chewing effect in order to release the cell contents, including the proteins. So that goes into the big gut. So a lot of the absorption happens there. All right. The cell contents, the proteins and all those little things are being absorbed there. Then it goes into the rest of the intestine and then to the cecum. And there lies the thing. The cellulose are then transferred there. And that's where they then have their microorganisms, the flagellates. And they've got a specific type of flagellates that creates an enzyme called cellulase. It's not cellulose, cellulase. And this particular enzyme can break down not only the cellulose, but also lignin, which is a structural compound found in cell walls. And that's a very difficult carbohydrate to digest. And zebra are able to do that. So therefore, they can eat even slightly woody plants and get some nourishment out of it, which most of the ruminants can't. And that's why zebra can utilize a far wider variety of grasses. They can essentially live on sticks, really. Right, so since we kind of like have grasses and the way animals consume it and how it relates to the ecology as a kind of like central theme this morning, you heard me speak about signal grass quite a lot, and this is a grass that we see quite a lot around camp at the moment, especially on this sort of like rocky, sort of slightly leached soils. But what I'm going to talk about is how do we identify grasses. So this is signal grass. So I'm actually plucked a stalk of this grass. So one of the main things, and this is a lovely time to identify grasses because they have flower and seed production now. In this case, this one is sort of in the intermediate stage. We can see the sort of racemes or spikelets of the individual inflorescence. So I know it's windy a bit, but it's got tiny little orange flowers there that are obviously going to be pollinated by its pollinators, and then eventually the seed will grow from that, like any fruiting plant. Signal grass. Can you see? This is almost like a signboard. Signal board. Johannesburg that way, Cape Town that way, Pridelands this way, Djuma that way, Amakhala this way, Kariga that way. And that wraps my grass study for today. We are at the end of our morning safari, so join us this afternoon for another live adventure into the African bush. Goodbye, everybody. Great morning. We'll see you this afternoon.